Hello and welcome to War Thunder. It's a online flight simulator slash tank simulator game. And today I'm going to be testing out flight mechanics and see if they're actually, because there's a mode in War Thunder called Simulator Battles, and they're supposed to simulate real life flying. And I have actually flown airplanes in real life, so I was thinking I'm going to go into a simulator battle with my joystick. Well, not an actual battle, more of a test flight, because then we don't have to wait for like 15 minutes. So we're just going to go into a battle and, well, see how realistic it really is. So just give it a minute to load up. Here we go. And we're in the aircraft. Visibility is good. Well, front visibility anyway, I mean. There's barely any in the back. And I really do like the cockpits in this. They are incredibly realistic. So, if we just go ahead and get the engine started up. Yeah. It's also quite realistic you start with the engine off, so let's just increase engine power. One thing about War Thunder that's not really realistic is the afterburner on propeller-driven aircraft. Oh, there we go. The yaw is never this powerful. There's one flaw. I can't even turn right. I mean, God. The yaw is incredibly powerful. I mean, I'm doing full left rudder. If I let go a tiny bit, it'll just drift off to the side. And if I pull up real quick. I mean, you can feel it's supposed to be simulation, and it is good, but it's just not great, you know. It's just sort of, you know, they try and make it a bit too hard, when flying is a lot easier than this. So if we just plop the landing gear up. If I drop throttle power real quick. Yeah, it's all good. It's fairly realistic. So if I just go into a turn. Now here's one flaw. If I go into a turn and I just leave the joystick as it is, the nose will start to go down, which shouldn't happen. I mean, sometimes you do have to pull a bit back on the joystick, but it never happens this rapidly. I mean, it's okay now. Just back then, the nose is dropping like this, and that's way too rapid. But yeah, everything else is quite, you know, simulated. I mean, the graphics are great in this game. Throttle's great. If I test something, if I drop throttle, the nose should start to go down. And I shouldn't begin to go. That's weird. I dropped the throttle to 0 and you can see it's turning left, which is weird. Now if I just level it and increase the throttle. Now here's another thing. When you're flying, if you increase the throttle, usually the nose starts to go up a little bit. Like that. And this just isn't happening. I'm actually having to use the elevator. So yeah, there's another flaw. It's quite similar how, you know, there is no HUD apart from on friendlies, otherwise you'd end up shooting down your own aircraft. Now, if there's one thing, I'm going to try a War Thunder style turn. So I turn the airplane and then look at turning the joystick, and you can actually see it starting to shudder. I just pull straight back. Yep, you can see it just shuddering around, and turn it completely on the side and pull back. It should stall. There we go. There's one realistic mechanic, and yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to pull out of this in time. No, I'm dead. I'm a dead man. So there's, well, it's very, very realistic. I'm going to go back in with another plane in a second and test out a few more things, like climbing and descending and all of that stuff. In fact, I'm going to use the Hurricane 2B for that. There we go. Nice little aircraft. With my mostly horrible skin. So, if we just... Oh. Give me a sec, I was about to go into a realistic battle then. I don't know what I was thinking. Let's just go into a test flight. So, I've got my joystick here, my Black Widow. It's not the best joystick on the market, but it suits. It's cheap and it's a great joystick to play around with. And here we are in our Hurricane. Very, very nice. That's awesome. If I look around, my head goes closer to the windshield here. Is that to improve visibility or something? That is actually really cool. Right, so we've got quite some elevation actually. I mean, the crosshair isn't actually in the middle of the thing, but that's alright. If I just start up the engine real quick. So, I'll just take it off. And there we go, it's already the other way this time. If I just pull back slightly. Fire off the fireworks. Just get rid of my ammo, just 'cause I don't really need it. There we go, guns all jammed. Oh wow, the Hurricane is a bit yawry, you know. Right, so if we just put the landing gear up. If I just leave the joystick as it is, it'll start to do this. So, yeah, you've constantly got to be holding the controls. It starts banking. Turning, even though nothing's happened. That is really weird. Well, I'm constantly losing altitude, so I just want to pull up real quick. So, say I got my throttle at 50%, or 60, let's just do that. Ascending, go, increase the power, pull back on the stick. And yeah, we are ascending quite fast, so ascending is, well, it's good, it's quite, you know, realistic. So, we just place the nose down and then bring the power back to 0. Yeah, descending wise, with this I shouldn't really be building much speed, which I'm not. I'm staying virtually the same speed. In fact, I'm slowing down. Just pull up real quick. So yeah, it's actually really, you know, the climbing and descending is really realistic. So, if I just put this thing in the water, because I need to do some more explaining, just turn it on its roof, let go of everything, and it should just drown. Intentionally. Wait for it to go back to the menu. So, simulator battles. They are, well, it has it in the name. It's supposed to simulate a real battle. It's supposed to be as realistic as possible. But it went a little too far. The yawing is, when you take off, you do yaw on the runway, so you do have to put a bit of rudder in to make sure you don't go off the runway. But it's a little too big. you start yawing as soon as the engine power increases, which is incredibly unrealistic. I was flying a little microlight, which is about as a light, maybe lighter even. I don't know, probably. Maybe a little lighter than a Spitfire. With quite a powerful engine, quite a modern aircraft. And that thing didn't start yawing till at least 2 or 3 seconds after I'd started the engine up, which, you know, when taking off is quite a delay. So, yeah, the yawing is quite unrealistic. But climbing and descending is great. But if you let go of the joystick, it should do... Like, the Simulator Battle sort of got that right, but took it a little bit too far. Like, it should drop and everything, but it shouldn't go into a bank. It was starting to bank and go round in circles, which shouldn't happen. What else was there? Well, the looking around was great, but that's sort of in War Thunder as a whole. I mean, in the Hurricane, I noticed as I looked sort of left and right around the cockpit, my head would move closer to the sides here, and that's just for a bit of improved visibility. It's what pilots would have been doing in the day, but then again, Hurricane visibility wasn't really that great back in the day, especially. So, taking off and climbing and descending is great. The turning, could be, well, it could... I'm not sure how to put this politely. When you're in an aircraft, you just sort of, you push the joystick slightly left or right, and it should turn the ailerons, and the airplane should roll slightly onto its side, and then it should just start banking. It shouldn't be, you should be able to let go of the controls once you have everything set, and it would just continue banking. But in War Thunder, if you let go of the joystick and stop pulling it up, the nose would drop. And also, it was way too quick. The amount, I was putting very little pressure on the joystick and the airplanes were turning incredibly quickly, which shouldn't happen. So, they're good, it's very fun to play, but I recommend changing the name from Simulator Battles to slightly unrealistic claims as a simulator battle. It's very unrealistic. So yeah, that's my time. I will see you in the next video.